From the same company that brought you Resident Evil, Dino Crisis, Hitman,
Metal Gear.
Now comes Doom 2016, only on GOG.com, otherwise known as goodoldgames.com. Old games, good. So it's going to be a quickie rant talking about Doom 2016 on the website that is known as GOG.com, otherwise known as goodoldgames.com. GOG has been known for essentially having the license to sell people DRM-free versions of PC games, old and new. Their library is actually pretty impressive, although there are a number of games on there that have, unfortunately, limited features compared to others found on other sites. There's too many specifics, but most of them involve multiplayer components that are due to the ever so self-proclaimed indefensible digital rights management that plague a lot of games, even if they don't have any multiplayer of the sort. I'm making this rant specifically because I was actually on a website that notifies when games do come to goodoldgames.com. And one of them actually happens to be Doom 2016. We know how much I fucking hate the game, but, even if there's a game out there that I absolutely detest, having a digital rights management free version of a game, whether I might hate the game or otherwise, is always a good thing. Even if there's an older PC game I may not have interest in, or even if there's a newer game that I might be willing to try, or might be on the backlog, it's always nice for those who want to have the luxury of playing their game without the shit that Denuvo may or may not conspiracize people into thinking that it's not a big deal, or whatever old DRM like Secure Serve coming into play. It's just good to have a way to play your games that you bought, even if it's a license or whatever, to just play the games that you like. Now, of course, when it comes to the multiplayer side of things, that's a different story. But problem with Doom 2016, unfortunately, is that even though the game is only $20, it scraps two of the main components that made Doom 2016 kind of a big deal, which is the snap map and the multiplayer. Now, before I attract any people who want to say that Doom was never about the multiplayer, first of all, you're not a real Doom fan. In fact, you might be clinically mentally retarded to assuming that you think that Doom was never about the multiplayer. That's just absolutely fucking wrong. Doom's multiplayer is about as important as Halo's, honestly, and considering that one was inspired by the other is just kind of a blasphemous thing to say. And number two, the fact that you're buying a version of a game that you supposedly claimed was the greatest of shooters of all time but not getting a complete package is funny to me. There was a pretty big backlash towards the Nintendo Switch version not including the snap map, but only letting people play the campaign or the multiplayer. We have come full circle to the entire point that a certain version of a game that claims to be DRM free has even less features than the portable version, which not only runs at 30 frames per second, but requires online to even play against the bots. There's no LAN option, there's no unlock everything as with what Modern Warfare 3 offered, the old one. So you can't even get the full experience of the multiplayer unless you also subscribe to Nintendo's online services, and good luck if your game that you want to play on there even has cloud support to begin with. That's pretty bad. There was also a lot of people complaining about older PC ports getting just a barely essential fix to get the games working, whether it be Resident Evil or even Metal Gear Solid, but I would not be surprised if this just ended up being people brushing it under the bus, saying that, oh, it's a game that's almost 10 years old, so who cares if we're getting a version of a game that's not even complete. It's very clear that I don't like Doom 2016 or Doom Eternal or even the upcoming Doom the Dank Gauges, but this is pretty disrespectful to those who actually want to play their favorite game of all time and don't have to go on some shady website to get the complete version of a game that they actually paid money for a lot. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a Doom hater. And considering the last Doom video I did, which was just honestly the biggest shitpost I think I've ever made, and yet it made people pissed off for no real reason, even though I hold dear to how I feel about it, but that doesn't mean other people can't enjoy it. Unless you're gonna act like a fucking fanboy about it, or try to deny this actual problem with this fucking version of the game. If only Bethesda or whoever made this fucking game, I don't even fucking know anymore. It must rhyme with ID Software. They could have just made the snap map be like the map maker from Time Splitters, actually being robust, easy to use, and yet you can make survival maps that makes Call of Duty Black Ops look aged like wine. Or just letting you play the multiplayer in LAN, local area network, with bots, and having that tick box to have everything unlocked so that people can actually enjoy the multiplayer, and not having to play some third-party mod for Quake that demakes the modern Doom games in an objectively superior engine. But what the fuck do I know? This version of the game should not be bought just for the sole principle that you're not getting anything out of it. And even if you weren't to play multiplayer, you could at least do something with the snap map. But again, what do I know?